In February of this year, Ravens running back Ray Rice was arrested for knocking out his then-fiancée, Janae Palmer, in an Atlantic City casino. He was initially suspended for 2 games and then for good after the video surfaced in September of this year. The NFL should place a lifetime ban on players charged for domestic violence. In 1892, William Pudge Heffelfinger was the first paid player. He was paid $500 to play in a game in Pittsburgh. In 1920, APFA was founded and later changed its name to the National Football League in 1922. In 1933, the NFL instituted an annual championship, and in the 1950s, the games began to be televised. In 1970, the first Super Bowl was held, and in 1993, the development of the World League of American Football was developed. In 2003, the NFL got its own cable channel, the NFL Network. Domestic violence cases in the NFL weren't widely publicized until the late 1980s and the early 1990s. In 1994, O.J. Simpson was arrested for the murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. This case captured America's attention after he was acquitted a year later in October of 1995. In 1996, Lawrence Phillips, who played for the St. Louis Rams, was arrested for domestic violence, but he didn't receive prison time until after playing 25 games with the Rams, and he only received prison time because of additional charges in 1997 and 2005. In 1999, Ray Carruth, who played for the Panthers, was arrested for his involvement in a drive-by shooting that left his pregnant girlfriend in a coma. He was found guilty in 2001 for conspiracy to commit murder. From 2000 until currently, there have been 89 cases of domestic violence. 85 have led to arrests. 1 was classified as surrender, but later had charges dropped after enrolling in a counseling program. 3 were classified as charged, but 2 players had charges dropped, and 1 player received 3 years of probation. The NFL provides negative role models for children by allowing these players to play. On September 11, 2014, Senator Dianne Feinstein and 16 fellow women senators wrote a letter to Commissioner Roger Goodell urging him to establish a zero-tolerance policy for domestic violence. Between the years of 1996 and 1997, 21% of players competed with criminal records that range from allegations of rape to assault. Currently, there are 12 active players within the NFL, including Ray McDonald, Kevin Williams, and Des Bryant. Children are watching these players commit these crimes and get away with them. NFL players should not be exempt from the law. Lieutenant Gavin Newsom believes that NFL is sending a strong message that zero tolerance are empty words and not real actions. From 2000 until today, there have been 713 arrests of NFL players. These range from drug charges to assaults. 85 of them are for domestic violence, and the sad thing is that many are arrests and very few convictions. Since 2006, when Goodell became commissioner, there have been 57 arrests total. Only 10 players were cut from teams, 12 were given game suspensions, and 14 were enrolled in diversion programs which led them to not go to jail. And 34 went unpunished completely. By allowing these players to play, the NFL is defending violence against women. Dave Zirin, a sports journalist, believes that this culture of entitlement starts in high school and grows in college football, where players can't be paid with money and instead are paid with women, which allows men to view women as commodities. Amari Spivey was arrested in March 2013 for putting one hand around his girlfriend's neck while holding their daughter in his other arm. Charges were dropped later when he completed a court-ordered education program. He was released from his team in August of 2013, but only because his performance as a player had declined and not because of the arrests. There are some people that believe a lifetime ban is too harsh. one of these being LaTanya Jones, a former survivor of domestic violence and a big Ravens and Ray Rice fan. She refuses to turn in his jersey and still wears it, stating that she thinks his private life has nothing to do with his job performance. However, Esta Solar would disagree. She believes that these players have a huge influence on social norms and values in this country. She believes that the NFL is lacking conviction to its new policy that was created in August of this year that states for the first offense of domestic violence, there would be a 6-week suspension without pay, and the second offense, there would be a lifetime ban from the NFL, but they would allow players to petition for reinstatement after 1 year. So she says that it's sad that they're allowing Ray McDonald to take the field 12 days after this policy was instated. Another person that would agree that the ban is too harsh is Ravens coach John Harbaugh. He believes that he had this statement to say after the initial suspension, 2-game suspension for Ray Rice. He said that there are consequences when you make a mistake. Terrence Knighton, the player for the Broncos, says that he called on fellow players to take action and acknowledge that the NFL cannot condone or take domestic violence cases lightly, no matter who the person is. There is no place for domestic violence in the NFL. In conclusion, President Terry O'Neill for the National Organization for Women sums it up best. The NFL lost its way. It doesn't have a Ray Rice problem. It has a violence against women problem. And I agree. There should be no corner or safe haven for domestic violence, especially within the NFL. I don't know what you're trying to say.